Microsoft just put its own chips on the table for OpenAI's biggest rival. Today, May 22nd, one story. Yesterday, the information reported that Microsoft and Anthropic are in talks. Anthropic wants to rent Microsoft's custom Maia 200 AI chips 5 months after Microsoft put $5 billion into Anthropic. 4 weeks after Microsoft's exclusivity with OpenAI officially ended. We're going to walk through the deal, the chip, the backstory, and what this does to the frontier lab race. 10 minutes, 4 primary sources, 0 hype. Story, May 21st. The information broke it first. Anthropic is in talks with Microsoft to rent Microsoft's custom Maia 200 AI chips. CNBC, Yahoo Finance, and Data Center Dynamics all confirmed within hours. The talks are early, they may not close, but the framing is what matters. CNBC's headline did not pull punches. Quote, Anthropic, Microsoft in talks for AI chip deal after $5 billion investment, end quote. Read that headline twice. The same Microsoft that just put $5 billion into Anthropic in January is now in talks to sell Anthropic the silicon Microsoft built for OpenAI. $5 billion. That is what Microsoft put into Anthropic in January, not a partnership memo, equity. 5 months later, Microsoft is selling Anthropic chips. The investment was not the bet. The chip deal is the bet. The investment was the down payment. Yahoo Finance ran the market read. Microsoft stock rose 2% on the news. The street's interpretation was instant. Microsoft is no longer one company's cloud. Microsoft is the infrastructure layer for the entire frontier lab industry. The arms dealer thesis just got priced in. Here is the line worth screenshotting. Microsoft is no longer one lab's cloud. Microsoft is the infrastructure layer underneath every lab. The exclusivity strategy of 2019 is gone. The arms dealer strategy of 2026 is in. Story 2. To understand what just happened, you need to know what Maia 200 is. Microsoft unveiled it on January 26 this year, TSMC 3nm process, 216 gigabytes of HBM3E memory, 7 terabytes per second of bandwidth. Over 140 billion transistors, a 750 watt power envelope, over 10 petaflops in FP4. This is a frontier inference chip, not a toy. Microsoft's own blog post titled the launch, quote, Maia 200, the AI accelerator built for inference, end quote. The chip is currently running OpenAI's GPT 5.2 inside Microsoft's data centers. Iowa is online. Phoenix, Arizona is coming next. The chip Anthropic wants to rent is the same chip currently running OpenAI's flagship model. That is not a coincidence. 30%, that is Microsoft's own claim on how much better Maia 200 is at tokens per dollar versus the last generation. 3 times the FP4 performance of Amazon's 3rd generation Trainium. FP8 performance above Google's 7th generation TPU. Read the comparison set. Microsoft did not pick competitor chips at random. Microsoft picked exactly the chips Anthropic already uses. Here is the part nobody is connecting. When Maia 200 launched in January, CNBC's headline was, quote, Microsoft reveals Maia 200 AI chip will use it in-house, end quote. In-house. 4 months ago, Maia was Microsoft's internal silicon. Today, Maia is what Microsoft is offering OpenAI's biggest competitor. The pivot from in-house to arms dealer happened in 116 days. Story 3. Pull back for a second. How did Microsoft, the company that defined the AI era by going all in on OpenAI, end up here? The answer is a 120-day timeline. 3 events, each one tighten the screws. Event 1, April 27th, Tom's Hardware put it bluntly, quote, OpenAI and Microsoft's alliance fractures as cloud exclusivity deal ends. Azure's single provider monopoly for ChatGPT is officially over, end quote. The non-exclusive license is the new normal. OpenAI can ship on any cloud. The thing that gave Microsoft strategic lock-in for 7 years just dissolved. 24 days, that is the gap between Microsoft losing exclusivity over OpenAI on April 27th and Microsoft entering chip talks with Anthropic on May 21st. 24 days, the corporate response time to a strategic loss does not get faster than that. Microsoft did not wait to see what would happen. Microsoft repositioned immediately. Read this twice. Microsoft lost exclusivity on April 27th. Microsoft pitched its chips to Anthropic by May 21st. That is not retreat, that is repositioning. The new strategy is visible in real time. Stop owning one lab. Start owning the infrastructure every lab depends on. Event 2, January 2026. Microsoft put $5 billion into Anthropic. At the time, it looked like a hedge. In retrospect, it looks like positioning. The chip talks are the second step of a strategy that started 5 months ago. Microsoft did not stumble into selling Anthropic chips. Microsoft built a relationship first, then offered the silicon. Story 4, the other side of the table. Why does Anthropic want this? The answer is the most underrated story in frontier AI right now. Chip diversification is no longer a strategy, it is a survival requirement. Anthropic already runs Claude on 3 different silicon stacks. Adding Maia would make it 4. Data center dynamics laid it out clearly. Anthropic already uses Google TPUs. Anthropic already uses AWS Trainium. Anthropic still uses Nvidia for training. Adding Microsoft's Maia would be the 4th silicon source. No other frontier lab runs on 4 chip families. This is not redundancy. This is structural insurance. 4 silicon families: TPU, Trainium, Nvidia, Maia. Read what this enables. If one supplier raises prices, Anthropic shifts. If one supplier delivers late, Anthropic shifts. If one supplier becomes a competitor, Anthropic shifts. Diversification is now the moat, not the model. And here is the part the chip headline buried. The same day the chip talks broke, May 21st, Anthropic announced its first ever acquisition, Fractional AI, as the operational core of a $1.5 billion consulting venture backed by Blackstone, Apollo, Hellman, and Friedman. Sequoia GIC. Fractional ended its 11-month OpenAI partnership as part of the deal. On the same day Microsoft offered Anthropic chips, Anthropic pulled an OpenAI partner into a $1.5 billion consulting venture. Same day, Microsoft's Silicon, OpenAI's consulting partner, both for Anthropic. That is not luck, that is execution. Anthropic is moving at the speed of a company that knows the IPO window opens in October. Every primary source pointing at Anthropic this week was offense, not defense. Story 5. The countervailing angle. What did OpenAI just lose? OpenAI did not lose Microsoft as a backer. Microsoft still has rights to OpenAI's models through 2032. OpenAI did not lose Azure as a cloud. ChatGPT still runs on Azure. What OpenAI lost was uniqueness. The one thing OpenAI had that no other lab had was Microsoft. Now every lab can have Microsoft. $10.9 billion. That is Anthropic's projected revenue for Q2 2026, up from $4.8 billion in Q1, a 130% quarter-over-quarter jump. Microsoft is not selling chips to a startup. Microsoft is selling chips to a company growing faster than any frontier lab in history. The chips will run on real production revenue inside 90 days. Microsoft is now structurally funded on every horse in the race. OpenAI runs on Azure, Anthropic gets Microsoft Silicon, Mistral has a Microsoft partnership, xAI uses some Microsoft tooling. The optimal exit is no longer betting right, it is collecting from all of them. That is what an arms dealer business model looks like in AI in 2026. Here is the honest caveat. The Information's original report says the talks are early, they may not close. Anthropic may be using the discussions as leverage to drive better terms from Nvidia, Google, or Amazon. Microsoft may pull back if OpenAI's leadership pushes back hard. Maia 200 is inference focused. Training Claude Opus 5 still needs Nvidia and Trainium. So the operational shift if the deal closes would be smaller than the symbolic one, but the symbolic shift already happened. The market priced it on Friday. Pull it all together, the AI market in 2026 does not have allies anymore. It has counterparties. Google funds Anthropic, Amazon funds Anthropic, Microsoft funds Anthropic, and OpenAI. Nvidia sells to everyone. Anthropic uses every cloud. OpenAI just lost its only structural advantage. The boundaries between rivals, partners, and infrastructure dissolved this month. The new shape is a fully connected graph. Builder takeaway. If you are building on AI in 2026, your moat is not the lab you bet on. Your moat is portability across all of them. Multi-model, multi-cloud, multi-chip. The labs themselves just told you what to do. Anthropic runs on 4 silicon stacks because lock-in is fragility. Apply the same logic to your stack. If you cannot swap your model provider, your cloud, or your chip in 30 days, you are exposed. The strategic primitives Anthropic uses are available to you. 3 things to watch over the next 60 days. 1. Whether Microsoft and Anthropic close the deal publicly with disclosed terms by August. 2. Whether OpenAI publicly reacts. Sam Altman's response to Microsoft selling chips to Anthropic is a real data point. 3. Whether other Microsoft customers Mistral and the new entrant labs get equivalent Maia 200 access. If yes, the arms dealer thesis is the new permanent structure. If no, this was just Microsoft hedging one bet. And one forecast. Anthropic's October IPO window is targeting a $900 billion valuation. The chip deal, if it closes, prices in 2 ways: as a compute liability or as a compute hedge. The bull case says Microsoft's silicon at scale gives Anthropic a 30% margin advantage on cloud inference. The bear case says 4 silicon stacks means 4 supply chain dependencies. The next 60 days decide which read the market believes. Microsoft just stopped picking sides. That is the story. The company that bet its AI future on one lab in 2019 is arming all of them in 2026. If you want this in your feed every day, the subscribe button is right here. Watch next. Our recap of AI's biggest week. For ANN Live, this is AI News Now, proof, not press releases.